Nine Diamond.
I bet you're wondering what the heck's going on. Well, you're about to experience the greatest paranormal television show ever made. So what does Texas and a couple of big old country boys have to do with it? Well, if you've been living under a rock for the past several years, you might be asking yourself that. But for the rest of us, we've come to know the Klinge Brothers as members of our own families. These two have single-handedly given the paranormal world a good old-fashioned butt whipping with their groundbreaking theories, state-of-the-art technology, and most importantly, common sense. These boys have turned something full of mystery and nonsense into something all of us can wrap our heads around. They started Everyday Paranormal going on about 6 years ago. And after building that up, filming 2 seasons and 26-hour-long episodes on a major network, they're back home. Now that ride through TV land wasn't the smoothest, and they got a bit of a bad taste in their mouths on how Hollywood can take the fun out of a lot of things. They realized they had to be in complete control of what they did and how it was played out. And once they took the wheel back, that bad taste went away, but not entirely. They still have an axe to grind on the methods by which ghost hunting's done. And that's why we are here today. The Klinge Brothers have asked me, Jimmy Tittle, to help tell their story. In fact, they wanted to illustrate what their new paranormal research strategy is. So pay attention.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Man, that thing exploded. Oh man, that's what we're gonna do to the paranormal.
Now, if them boys didn't make their point perfectly clear, here's something else that may get the message across. Feel free to take notes this time. Take it from me. The Klinge Brothers and Everyday Paranormal are back, and they are back to the basics. No more fancy trailer, no more Hollywood producers. Well, they're still chasing them ghosts and other weird things. That's only a small part of it. That spooky haunted building is simply the backdrop for the experiments. They're going after the way all this stuff is done, and people, you better get ready.
If we're gonna do this thing, we're not gonna do it alone. We need to put together a small team to help us out. And I mean people who are good at what they do.
You know, we thought long and hard about who our team members are gonna be. Our first choice is Johnny Hazzard. The guy is a great camera guy, an editor. He's a great investigator. And for God's sakes, he sells tickets to a house where the family was killed by an axe. I mean, come on, how cool is that?
So we call Johnny and tell him all about what we're doing. And we're talking about different team members that we might want to get. And he mentions that he knows a psychic. And I'm like, wait a second, Johnny. A psychic? What? A psychic? Really?
Okay, I'm getting a vision, a sign. There's a man. He's a father. Does anybody here have a father? Did he ever have a blue shirt?
But then I said, wait a second. A psychic could actually be good. Have it on our team, and we can test out a bunch of stuff because a lot of the psychic stuff we think's a bunch of BS.
Come to find out, the psychic that Johnny knows is Kathy Cash, the daughter of Johnny Cash. The Johnny Cash.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
You know, the Johnny Cash.
Now that we got the team together, I know of a perfect place to kick these investigations off. There's an old ghost town in South Texas. These people have been calling us, wanting us to come out there. Perfect opportunity. We're going to get Johnny and Kathy on the phone, get them down here and see what we can do.
So this time it's going to be a little different. We're going to be doing it our way. So sit back and hold on.
Those Klinge boys didn't waste any time at all. They gave Johnny Hauser a call and told him to be on the next thing smoking to San Antonio. And that's exactly what he did. Now, Kathy Cash was another story. She had to have knee surgery that week and wasn't going to be able to make it. But that was no problem for the brothers because they had the perfect idea for an experiment.
This is going to be a cool experiment. It's something that we've always wanted to do. Now, we've always thought that most psychics were kind of full of crap for two reasons. First of all, they always deal in vague concepts, especially when they're hitting on something. They'll start with a broad general guess, and then they'll move into something more specific based on the reactions of the crowd. Or number two, they're fed information before they go to a location or asked to do something, and they already know about the place, so they're making these hits based on their own research or information that they're given. Now, with our experiment, we know what we're doing with these psychics. We're going to leave Kathy in Tennessee. It's going to be a remote psychic experiment. You don't really see that. She doesn't even know what we're doing, where we're going, who we're talking to, nothing. She basically knows that we're going to a place in South Texas. Now, that's pretty sterile. Now, for the other psychic, we want to pick some random person in San Antonio, bring them down, and not even tell them where they're going until the day of. In fact, to make sure they have absolutely no idea what they're getting into, we'll even pick them up in a town that's 6-7 miles outside of Helena and then bring them in. Make them get right into the investigation, give us their impressions, and then get out. That way there's no time for research, there's no time for someone to be tainted or try to fool us into thinking that they know what they're talking about. If they hit on something specific, then we got gold.
After picking up Brad and his dog Riley, they all headed down to Helena. Not a lot of people know this, but Everyday Paranormal's been using dogs on their investigations for years. And this would be his first investigation. He let the boys know just how nervous he was.
Johnny, what's the matter?
This dog is farting back nonstop.
Riley! Riley!
What'd you eat?
Oh, he did it again.
I will turn this car around.
Oh, God. We're rethinking bringing the dog next time.
My eyes are burning.
Just keep that.
Poor Riley. I think I'd be a bit nervous too.
So here we are in Helena, Texas. It's dark, it's nighttime. We've never been here before. So scouring the place, kind of looking at the layout. When I pictured a ghost town, I pictured tumbleweeds and the facade of the buildings and Main Street. There's nothing like that. Looks like it's one big lot. There's several buildings on the place, but each building has some paranormal claims. So what we're gonna do now is kind of scout the place a little bit, set up our equipment, and investigate.
The boys hit the ground running, starting with an old farmhouse sitting on the property. It didn't take long for the place to start jumping with strange happenings. This is where it starts to get real interesting.
Yeah, we're over here getting ready, and we have Riley on a post out in the middle of the yard. Big 50-foot rope circular just before we get ready to take in the house. And I know you heard it too. It sounded like a screen door ring, kind of slam.
We both looked at each other at the same time.
And I looked at you, and you're looking around, and Barry was putting head. I don't think he heard it, but Riley started whimpering, which, you know, the whole dog thing. It's not like they're pointing out ghosts, but it was odd. When I went over there, he was, he's a German Shorthair, so his natural instinct is to point. He was pointing at the door, but then he kind of slowly started pointing down the pathway to the road. Almost as if something was walking by and he was looking at it, pointing at it as it maybe came out of the house or something. I don't know, speculation, but that door opened by itself. I heard it definitely. I don't know if I think Barry's in there right now. I'm getting ready to put my RT on, get my video camera in there, and we might as well start. It was open up to this point, wasn't it?
It was straight out like that. Shut it again. All right. Try it again. As hard as I can push, and that's as far as it's going to
Break the door off the hinges.
It was straight out.
All right, I'm gonna stop in here.
One thing cool, you actually heard it, right? Did you hear the creaking of the door?
I heard a creak, and I actually heard kind of a bang.
My audio recorder's still going on inside. So what do you think, Johnny?
You know, when we were setting the equipment up, I definitely heard something. And
It's a short leash.
Brad and I kind of noticed each other noticing the sound at the same time. And then that's when I heard a whimpering, and I thought some kind of animal across the street or something. And then, you know, when we found out it was Riley, it all kind of made sense.
Oh. Cool. Oh.
Now, Riley just doesn't do that. He's a great dog, friendly as can be, will lick you to death, go up to strangers, anything. He would not step 1 foot near that farmhouse. Now, what we do is we look at things like this, notate it, and if we can correlate it with something later, that's what we want, because that's the name of the game. Come on. Come on.
After about half an hour of investigating the farmhouse with nothing more to speak of, it was time to move on.
Okay, so right now we're actually going to move over to across the street. We're going to go over to what they call the Masonic Lodge. Actually, the KGC, the Knights of the Golden Circle, that's kind of where it started, which turned into the Ku Klux Klan, KKK. So a lot of secret meetings and things like that happen across the street. So we're gonna head over there and check.
Tomorrow night we're gonna bring Steve Harris to investigate that area.
Now we're getting somewhere. The man in the blue shirt I'm seeing here as a farmer. I see farm implements. I see plows and a possible horse. That is what the dog is scared of. This man, I'm seeing overalls. It's coming to me. His name is Bill, Ted, Robert, or something along those lines. Maybe he knows a Ted, a Bill, or a Robert. That could be it. Boy, I'm on to something here.
They're saying that they're getting a lot of like mean-spirited EVPs in around this place now. I think it started over here. Didn't they mention that?
Yeah, this is where they think it's moved from here to the Ruckman Rancher. But I don't know. Them damn Ruckmans.
The dadgum Ruckmans?
Old man Ruckman said. I'm just gonna put my recorder on the bar. EP session night 1, Helena, in the Masonic Lodge.
Masons suck.
Balls.
Knights of Pythias rule.
Knights of Columbus. Knights of the Golden Circles, losers.
Let's have a cage match with the Rotary Club, the Kiwanis, and the Knights of the Golden Circle. That's just a bunch of old men in fezzes. Is that what it ends up being? KKK pieces of shit. You bunch of illiterate hillbillies.
You just scream at ghosts, Brad. That's all you do is scream.
You just want a big hug. That's all we want.
Come on, we need a name. Let's start out with the basics. What's your name? We know all about the mean one that's in here. Are you in here? With VR, we want to talk. We're going to find you. We're going to go over to the Ruckman Mansion if that's where you're at. Or the farmhouse or the courthouse. We're going to find you. So might as well give it up now. There's no EMF in here at all. So.
Oh, you know what they say, void of energy, void of ghosts. What do you want me to do? You want me to leave? You want me to leave you alone? Alright, you redneck bastards, I'll be back.
For being claimed to have so much evil activity, the Masonic Lodge ended up pretty quiet that night. There was plenty more ground to cover, so they decided to head on over to the courthouse.
Building's got a little lean to it. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Brad Klinge now presiding. I object. You are a disgrace to this bench. I'm gonna take your hat.
What you may not realize is that the brothers are using an effective investigative technique they call a watched pot never boils theory. They find if they clown around and don't pay too much attention, that's when all hell can break loose.
I look like a big-headed Amish guy.
Who like that guy? That one dude on the left looks creepy.
Yeah.
Look at that dude, man. Ooh, look into my eyes.
Who's this guy looking at?
So, okay, guys, which am I looking? Am I looking over here? No, over here. Hi. Yeah. Oh, straight ahead. Oh, okay.
Bill. Dang nabbit.
Unfortunately, they were not having any luck in the courthouse, so they moseyed on over to the last location, the Ruckman Mansion.
The Ruckman House, this is the mansion where the founders of Helena lived. This is actually, back in the day, this thing was plush, and right now it's in good condition.
It's pretty. You can smell that old wood, that cedar. You smell it.
It's 3 stories. It goes up. It actually has a loft. It has a separate kitchen dining area that actually has an upstairs to it. So it's fairly big. Supposedly a lot of activity happens around here. Some nasty stuff happens, cussing at you, whoever's in this house. I don't know, so we're just gonna run some audio, just kind of do a quick walkthrough.
That scared the shit out of me. That There's a mannequin right here, like a half mannequin with a dress on. I did this just like.
Hey, Rockman, you home?
What kind of name is Ruckman? What did I tell you about this, Johnny? The staircase.
Yeah, this is
Staircase to nowhere.
Paranormal investigating is like fishing. You keep trolling the line and putting the bait out in hopes that eventually something will bite. So far, the fish really haven't got running yet. But what happened next really let the boys know there are some big fish in this pond just waiting to strike.
Hey, someone come down here? Like, pronto?
It can't be too pronto. Hold on. Follow my ass. Were you on the bottom floor?
Yeah, Marco's here. Okay, this is gonna sound like the old campground horror story, axe murder in the woods thing. A flashlight came up to this window, up and down and up and down. I moved back because I thought they were coming back with the game cam. I didn't want him to freak out if they opened the door. No one came in. Look at that. I go out and look, no one there. There is no one. Their truck's not even here. I'm telling you, it's not like it was a distant light. It was a flashlight that looked up in this window and up in the other.
Well, it might be. Let's see. Make sure nobody's out here.
No, no one's out there.
Oh.
Do me a favor. I want to shut this off.
EVP session.
Go upstairs
Breckman.
and go right where I said, can y'all come down here? Go to where you were and shine the light all around. I want to make sure for some reason that light isn't somehow
reflecting
coming back. I don't see how it could. I don't see how it could, but I need to find out because you did have a light, so I need to figure that out.
I had my blue light on too.
No, it wasn't a blue light. It was, but the thing is, it wasn't even a white light. It was like a the old yellow flash. I don't say yellow, but like a yellowish light.
Mm-hmm. Amber.
Yeah,
I'll
like
take
amber.
the same path I did.
But bright, almost as if they stuck the flashlight right up to that thing and looked up and down. And
Like this?
It was enough where I went like this.
Well, the truck just pulled up.
The truck just pulled up while they're actually.
I'm waiting for the truck to leave.
What the fuck?
Did you fucking that? Are you recording? Oh,
You had yours going by.
my God! Mark that time. So we show up in this ghost town, and there's all kinds of buildings. And I mean, it's a ghost town, so we expect to find some ghosts. So we start off in this farmhouse.
And while we're getting ready, we had this door open on the farmhouse. We thought that was really cool. We never saw it open. We had the dog react to it, but it wasn't really nothing.
And we don't find jack squat.
We moved on to the courthouse. Nothing really going on there.
Big goose egg.
Moved to Masonic Lodge. Nothing really going on there.
Denied.
We're like, uh-oh, this investigation is gonna suck.
I mean, come on. It was pretty lame up until that point.
But we go to the last place, the Ruckman Mansion, and this place is creepy. We go into the place with an open mind. We're excited again. We're investigating. We're checking things out. We're just kind of just walking around casually.
Barry and I were downstairs. Johnny was upstairs. And out of nowhere, this voice just Whatever it said. Barry and I looked at each other and we were like, Shazam! What was that?
Whoa! What the fuck did you fucking hear?
That was the most ominous freaking sound voice I have heard in my life. It scared the shit out of me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Shit out of me.
Brad's right here.
I thought the flashlight scared the shit out of me.
It scared the shit out of me. That sounded like Satan himself was coming out.
I have no idea what it said, but it's very loud. We did record it, and we are pumped to try to find out what it said. And that's one of the voices that scared us probably the most in our whole career. We always asked all the time, what's the one thing that scares you? That's the one thing that kind of scared us.
When Brad and Barry reacted to that voice in the Ruckman mansion, I had no idea what was going on. I just knew I didn't want to be upstairs alone. I think what scared the shit out of me was hearing the Klinge Brothers scream, "Oh shit." It's like,
But
I have no idea what happened, but I don't want to be up here.
While this is great, awesome type evidence, we probably recorded it. Our experience tells us that when this type of paranormal activity happens, it happens in an instant and then it's gone. It's almost like it has to charge itself all night to be able to manifest, and then when it does in an explosion, boom, it's gone.
So we decided to wrap it up. It's late, we're tired. We went ahead and went on into town, got some good night's sleep. Come back the next morning and we're gonna talk to a guy named Barry Klinge.
He wrote the book, literally, on Helena, Texas.
I'm really interested to find out what he has to say about, especially that Ruckman mansion.
So we're gonna start fresh in the daylight tomorrow. Talk to this historian guy, see what's going on with Helena.
You think we had an ego on Ghost Lab? That was some scary shit out there. Scared the bejesus out of him.
He'll get frozen. What do you think, Riley? Riley?
The boys and Riley got some good shut-eye that night, but before they could get real comfortable, they found themselves back on the road to Helena the next morning. Now remember, Kathy Cash is back in Tennessee this whole time taking notes on the visions and messages she's getting, without having one stitch of knowledge of where or what they're doing. She thought it would be a good idea to make a video diary during this time to document all the things that are coming into her. Brad, Barry, and Johnny don't have a clue what Kathy is doing and vice versa. But this is the only way to have a true psychic test.
Hi, I'm Kathy Cash. I am the second oldest daughter of Johnny Cash and Vivian Roberta, and I am what you would consider clairaudient. I hear voices and sounds that aren't audible to other people. That's where most of my messages come from. Some are clairvoyant, which means clear seeing. And I do get visions sometimes, or I'll see things that give me messages. So that's how I get most of my information. Originally, I was supposed to fly to San Antonio to meet with Brad, Barry, and Johnny and be a part of the investigation. Brad decided to do an experiment to see if I could do remote viewing from my home in Tennessee to where they were in Texas. That was a little unusual, but I decided I would give that a try.
The boys get back to Helena and are itching to head on over to that old Ruckman mansion. They know something's in there, watching and waiting for them. First things first, though. They needed to figure out what that grumbly voice they heard said last night.
I'll let him listen to it on his own headphones.
I hear it perfect.
There is definitely something in that house with a real bad attitude. But why? Was this a spirit that could travel around town and terrorize people at will in all the buildings? Was it some lost soul mad because it was trapped in the old house? Or is it really something that means harm to all who enter? These are questions everyone had, and the man to help answer these questions was the town historian. The boys set him down for an interview in the courthouse to find out why this town might have an evil entity lurking around.
My name is Barry Klinge, and I'm the author of Helena, Texas, the toughest town on earth. This was one of the most violent places, not only in Texas, but in the entire West. It made Tombstone look like a Sunday school picnic. And because of violence, it essentially died. The richest rancher here was William G. Butler. One of his sons was called Emmett Butler. The family had a problem with the sheriff, which was Edgar Leary, here in Helena. Now there was bad blood between Sheriff Leary and the family because the sheriff had come out previously to search the house for Emmett for supposedly killing a black man in Wilson County. So he comes riding into town, there's sleet, it's cold, it's chilly, fire's going, people drinking it up in the saloons. He rides into town, word came that he was coming from Panamaria, which is the Polish colony 6 miles away, and the sheriff came and met him. So Emmett comes in with his boys, with his rain slicker, water shooting off his back, dismounts. The sheriff and the deputies come up and say, "I need you to disarm." He turned around, pulled out his 6-shooter, and shot the sheriff in the chest, mortally wounding him. The sheriff slumped to the wooden sidewalk and yelled as he started to bleed to death, "He killed me, get him." And they did. The whole town came out of the saloons, firing away as Emmett got on his horse to make a getaway. He got about a block down the street and 40 shots rang out, 3 hitting his body. He laid on the sidewalk, he died that night. Now, all hell broke loose. The father heard about it, a rider went up from the ranch, told him. He came down the Chisholm Trail 2 days later, and the father came into town with 25 armed cowboys. Very upset, needless to say. He yelled out, "Who killed my son?" Not an answer, just sagebrush rolling. Everybody was hiding. He screamed it out again. He said, "You killed my son, now I'm going to kill this town." And those famous words became a curse, and that curse became reality. Not long after that, several years after, he paid the railroad in gold and gave them free land to go around Helena instead of the planned tracks through Helena. Helena would have been a major metropolis, a little Dallas. And because of this whole situation and that curse, which he helped perpetuate, the railroad went around, and that started Kennedy and Corn City. And the town slowly started to deteriorate. And what you see here is just a whispering ghost of the town.
Very clearly in my bedroom one night, when I was laying in bed, was a gray duster, just the bottom part of a man standing in my room. It was a gray duster, brown cowboy boots, and rain was just pouring off this duster.
So Emmett comes in with his boys, with his rain slicker, water shooting off his back.
And rain was just pouring off this duster.
With his rain slicker, water shooting off his back.
The historian's ex-wife Lydia and sons Brian and Brandon have a vested interest in what is going on too. They live right down the street and have had pretty bad experiences of their own.
Okay, my name is Lady Heron. I've lived here for around 30-something years. But I would not come in here by myself. I would not come in here at nighttime. That's when we came in here and all these things started happening where the door locked and we got that EVP saying, you know, I can kill her. We've heard these EVPs again at the Masonic. It's the same voice. I mean, and the voice is so, when you hear it, it's so, ooh, it's scary. I can't even describe it because it's scary. You have to listen to it. It's a scary voice. It's not like your voice. You know, it's not a normal voice.
Coming in the Ruckman house kind of bothers me. I don't really feel comfortable in here. I know Brandon really doesn't either. I would want my mom to be here by herself because we don't trust the spirits at all.
There's a lot of things here that shouldn't be here. There's a lot of things happening here that shouldn't be happening here, that have no right to be here. What those are, I don't know. But it concerns me. It concerns me.
Part 2 of the experiment is getting ready to kick off. The random psychic Brad found in San Antonio has arrived, and they went to pick her up in town 6 miles away to make sure she has no idea where she's going or what she's doing. She visited the farmhouse, the Masonic Lodge, and even the Ruckman house, but she didn't have any information the boys felt worthy of being notated. That was until she went to the courthouse.
I don't know if it's just this part or the whole property. Like, I keep getting like razor blades or sharp little knives, but they weren't big knives. They're more like, I feel torture. I feel this torture, but they enjoyed it. Not the people that were being tortured, but the audience. What's bad about it is I feel pain, but I also feel like they enjoyed watching. You know, it reminds me of those gladiator movies where they have people fighting, the slaves were fighting slaves. Fittest for the survival.
We had something that's very unique to this town. Nowhere else in the Old West have I read or heard about it. It's called the Helena duel. It's where two men have rawhide or rope tied on their left wrist, and it's not very long. In the other hand is given a 3 or 4 inch knife that is very blunt, not sharpened. The objective is to see which of these gladiators survives the day, fighting it out, and who bleeds to death first. Meanwhile, picture this. You have a crowd of drunken cowboys and outlaws surrounding, applauding and screaming and hooting and going and betting on which unlucky participant will bleed to death first. That was called the Helena duel, and that went on for many years, maybe 20 years, into the 80s, from the 50s.
Sounds like the Michael Jackson movie. Like, they stare at each other like...
Similar.
So what's significant about Tiffany's readings or visions that she's getting is that Tiffany showed up about 5 or 6 hours after Barry's interview, in which he talked about the Helena duel and the gladiators. When she arrived 5 or 6 hours later, she mentioned the word gladiators. She described the Helena duel with the betting and the crowd gathered around watching these people kill themselves. That is mind-boggling. We were left scratching our heads wondering how in the world did she know that, because she did not know Barry. She had no personal contact with Barry. She had no idea that she was coming to Helena, Texas. She knew nothing of the Helena duel.
When she said gladiators and using blunt knives and the people kind of gathered around and enjoyed watching it, almost like watching gladiators, I could not believe it. This is impossible. There is no way that she would know this ever.
All right, enough of this psychic scoreboard. It's time for the Klinge Brothers to get back in there and do what they do best, and that's find ghosts.
I don't even care if you're not a ruckman. If you're something in this house, whoever it is, whoever said that nasty whatever it was the other night, come out and do it again, please. Why do you not like people in here? What secrets are you trying to hide? Think there's something that you want to say? Say it, man! Come on! Bark it? Did the dog bark? Did something happen? How? Just now?
The dog was barking.
Hold on a second. I have. That didn't sound like a dog.
The dog went like, oh.
Huh?
Dog kind of howled, I think, possibly.
That ain't no dog. The dog barks at first and then something happened. Even if it's an EVP, it's Quinny! I got an EVP of someone taking a Hellacious shit. Quinny! It's a weird sound though.
I think it might be the dog howling.
Bugs. You like Lydia? You say so?
Huh?
Did you say so? Do what? Did you say so? Huh.
Dude, there's a boys clear of the shit between me and you.
It went.
I mean, there's like a couple of words.
Is your recorder right there? Listen to, because I didn't hear anything.
Dude, I heard something clear as fucking day.
Something that night would growl and possibly cuss in someone's ear. For some reason, I thought it might be Barry.
On their way out of the Ruckman house that night, they got a bonus surprise.
As we were walking out, it was almost like for shits and giggles. I'm going to turn around and look up at the house, look at the windows, and see if anybody's looking back. Sure as shit. And that window right there. And I've been doing this a long time. Nothing's going to faze me. Nothing's going to play tricks on me. I'm not going to, suggest to myself that I'm seeing something. Sure as shit. There was a solid male figure. I'm going to say male because it had broad shoulders and it was standing right in that window looking straight out. And it wasn't like he was peeking around a corner or anything. Shoulders, head, torso, right in the middle of that window, as sure as shit.
I immediately started having visits from a man named Thomas. I saw him and I heard him several days in a row. He was 40s, 50s, weather-beaten face, blonde or gray-headed, medium build.
The Ruckman house, several blocks away, which was built in 1878. It's a three-story, basically mansion, and it must have been of huge expense because that was John Ruckman, the brother of Thomas Ruckman, his house.
That last night in the Ruckman mansion, they got really crazy there for a while. There's a lot of things going on. We decided to get out of there. and kind of rest for the night, go over our evidence, and lo and behold, we found some great stuff. In fact, we found one piece of evidence, an EVP. It doesn't really match the storyline. We thought it was really cool and we wanted to bring it to you.
Wow! That's no shuffle. That's no.
Wow.
That is a voice.
Wow. That is probably the creepiest kid EVP I've ever heard.
Whoa, that just gave me chills.
We're on to you, buddy. You gotta. Did you say something? We're on to you, buddy. You gotta. Did you say something? What can I say? The psychics nailed it. They kind of shut me up a little bit.
The jury's still out though with me. I mean, I watch shows, I watch other things that use psychics, and I wasn't there. I don't know how things transpired or what was going on there, but here, I know we kept things locked tight.
I still think there's a lot of BS going on out there, but I did learn one thing.
You bring in psychics cold, they have no idea where they're at, what's going on, and then you get results.
That is the only true test. Now, one other thing that we did learn was that not only is Kathy Cash a valid psychic, she's magic. All right, let me try it. It worked! That was awesome! Let's see if I can do it! Oh my, what the